Welcome to the Mediabox, here to talk about today's roundtable on boosting democracy and engaging all citizens. First of all, Stewart, Dickson, perhaps it's a case of re-engaging all citizens. You're looking at some of the flaws in the democratic process and the electoral process, and how do we re-engage people?
Yeah, we have been, and I think post Second World War, there was an upsurge in democracy and people's voting, and people saw it very much as a citizen duty to vote. But of course, as things have moved on, we see the inclusion of so many of the former Eastern European states coming into a much broader democracy. And it's been time to re-engage with all of those citizens and to encourage the best quality of voting, the best policies of good practice when it comes to taking part in democracy. But our session today has just not only been about that, it's been about how we engage all of the citizens across all of the ages in the democratic process.
And in terms of what the Reykjavik summit called democratic backsliding more generally, what solutions have you been looking at?
Well, of course, we've been looking at a broad range of solutions. The basic place to be is, of course, that elections are seen to be free and fair, open and transparent and available to everyone. We want to remove as many barriers rather than put more barriers up. So that's everything from age to gender to whether you belong to a political party or whether you're an independent representative.
Markkula, you're a youth representative. What's your message been here in terms of the engagement or lack perhaps thereof of young people?
I think there's a lot to say. First of all, I'm very grateful to be here, and I'm very grateful to Congress, how they've been engaging us as youth delegates. But in general, all over Europe, young people are feeling very anxious in the face of all the challenges of the world. We have climate change, the climate crisis. We have, as you mentioned, a democratic backsliding, and so extreme forces showing up to the political environment that it's very difficult to participate. So my message, and I think my fellow youth delegates' message has been that we need a broad spectrum of ways to participate in our democracy, so everybody can find their own way to make their voices heard.
And what about some of the obstacles that make it difficult, that make people feel alienated?
Oh, there's so many. We have different kinds of socioeconomic backgrounds. For example, if you want to participate in democracy, it takes time, it takes an effort, especially as young people. We have to go that extra mile to be heard. So if you come from a background where you have to do that extra effort to even survive, or to go to school and go to work, you might not have those resources yourself to go that extra mile. We have, as I mentioned, the political environment right now is so toxic that that creates a barrier, a high threshold to participate, because there's a lot of hate speech that young people are afraid of. If I do participate, do I get hate for it? Do I get discriminated against? Do I have to put up with a lot more than I would already have to put up with if I do decide to participate and be active?
Okay, and finally, Stewart, what are some of the solutions you've been looking at, given the nature of this Congress at a grassroots level?
Well, some of the things that we've been looking at, not just here today, but for many years in terms of Congress, has been how we get the ballot box closer to the citizen. I remember doing an election observation mission in The Hague in the Netherlands, and fascinating to see that because of low turnouts in local elections there, they introduced a number of novel and interesting ways of getting the ballot box close to the citizen. So they used a nightclub and gave a free pass to that, particularly to young people who, some people hadn't even seen the inside of the nightclub before. They also had a city bus that went round some of the urban areas and went to some of the older people's accommodation, so that they didn't have to walk to a local school or to a civic centre or a city hall to go and vote.
Stewart and Maria, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.